everyone, Naturally Cinnamon here. Welcome to the Resilience Rising podcast. First episode. This is going to be hopefully the briefest episode because I'm just introducing the podcast today. But first thing I'm going to do is introduce myself. My name is Cinnamon Key. I go by Naturally Cinnamon. I am a therapist. I am a life coach. I am an entrepreneur. And my business says are Jamila Wellness LLC, www.jamilawellness.org, and also Key for Enterprises, which is key for the number 4 enterprises.com. But you can find any of that on my website at cinnamonkey.info. All info about me you can find at cinnamonkey.info because I have a number of businesses, a number of business ventures, and a number of websites. So all things, can begin at cinnamonkey.info. Anyway, I'm here to introduce Resilience Rising. Some of you have known me as Naturally Cinnamon doing the Woman Law Wednesday videos, and you can find those videos at bit.ly/naturallycinYouTube. I'll put all of that, all of those things. Again, you can find everything on my websites, but I am introducing Resilience Rising as a replacement to Woman Law Wednesday. The last Woman Law Wednesday video I did about a month ago is when I talked about the law being that we need to stand in our truth, and the fact that I had not been doing that myself. I had not been standing in my truth because I am a woman with depression. I am a Christian woman. I am a Christian African American therapist that battles with depression. I'm not going to use the word battles. I cope with depression on a daily basis. And I don't mean depression like, oh, I don't feel good today. I mean like clinical depression. Like I've actually been diagnosed. I was medicated at one point, very, very briefly, didn't like how it made me feel. So I came off the medication, but that's a long podcast. I'll tell that story another time. But I had been living for the last 10 years, basically, as though I've overcome depression, when the truth was I was still very much dealing with it. And so I wanted to own my truth. And the truth is that there are days where it's really a struggle. It's a struggle to get out of bed. It's a struggle to get through the rest of the day. And some days are great and some days are difficult. So, there's that. So I'll have some podcast episodes where I'll talk about living with depression. I'll have some podcast episodes where we'll talk about, strengthening ourselves as women. I will have some episodes where I'll do a check-in, where we'll do a wellness check-in. But one of the things that I will look forward to is the episodes where I get to highlight another wonderful woman and what she's doing, and that, that will come as well. But I wanted to just say thank you to those who saw the last video within the last month, and your comments and reaching out to me. That really meant a lot to me. But I think there are 2 women that impacted me the most, and they are women that I did not really know. One woman I had previously met, but I didn't really know her, and another woman I had just met because they saw my video online and then saw me in person and told me how that video impacted them, and that it meant a lot to them, and how they hope I don't stop doing the videos. And I just wanted to say that encouraged me, because one of the things that I said I was going to start doing in 2018 was doing things differently. And it doesn't mean that it's a New Year's resolution or anything of that sort. I just want to do certain things differently. I wanted to take control of my finances in a different way. I'm pretty good at budgeting and sticking to a budget, but I needed to make, as Cardi B said, make some money moves. I needed to make better, more adult money moves. I do want to retire at some point. I love what I do. I love my businesses that I run, but I do at some point want to not have to physically be there to run them. So I need to make good money moves. So I need to do a few things differently as far as that's concerned. I wanted to move my businesses, one particular business, in a different direction. And that's a pretty It's a pretty big goal that I set for that business. And so that means that I need to do some operations differently. So I'll be doing that as well. I needed to, but the biggest thing I needed to do was get this podcast up and running and get these videos out and get these audios out. And so that is what this is. This is what Resilience Rising will be. We will focus on raising the resilience of others and helping us adapt and adopt tools to help us bounce back from life stuff. Because I like to tell all my clients this: nothing you do is going to stop life from happening unless you stop life, which isn't our goal. So we want life to continue to happen. And when life continues, things are going to come up. It's about what we can do and what we can put in place to try to help us through those situations that life will inevitably throw at us and the things that will come up no matter what we do to try to avoid them. And that's what we do when we try to build our resilience. That's what I focus on when I work with my clients, especially my coaching and counseling clients. So that's a very brief introduction into Naturally Cinnamon. The first thing I'm going to do in our next episode is I'm actually going to introduce my story, my backstory. And yes, I have been diagnosed with depression. Yes, I was medicated. And I will throw this out there. Yes, there have been suicide attempts in my past. So I am willing to address any questions about that. I will discuss that next podcast episode, but I am here to say you can ask me whatever questions you want. You can post them on any comments online on social media, or you can send an email to cinnamon@jamilawellness.org. Thank you for tuning in. I told you it would be very brief. This is probably the briefest one it will be, but it's a brief introduction. And I just wanted to say thank you for tuning in, and I'll hope to hear from you between now and next time. Bye.